Fantastic. So let's just start out, John, by having you give us a little bit of background on yourself and the business that you're in, how you got there, and just a little bit of context.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is John Grindley, and I am the Director of Strategy and Special Projects for Up Technologies. I've been with the company. I kind of worked as a contractor for several years and worked my way into a full-time job. And they saw the ability that I could bring to this company. Up Technologies is an amazing company that is built on the backbone of Cisco products and hardware and software. And so it's been an amazing ride, and I've actually got to see it from the beginning as our company basically was founded on doing product placement and product integration for Cisco into television and film products. So it's been an amazing thing to see those IP telephones arrive on set in Hollywood and sets of like the movie 24 and Ocean's 11 back in the day. And I actually saw the business kind of the idea grow from that from Mr. Jeff Hanks, who was our CEO, who had a phenomenal connection with Cisco and product integration, and realized when we put these phones on these movie sets, they needed to work, and there was a business in that, and there was a business in basically developing what became Up Technologies, which is specialized network deployment solutions. And so I tell a lot of people what we do all day is, if you give us power and you give us an internet service provider, we can network up the moon. So we do those type of environments all the time in events, like we're doing a conference here in Orlando for ServiceNow. We do those for Google. We do those for the British Open. We actually even do a lot of Cisco's telepresence deployment. So we run the gamut, plus we do some amazing things. So the Cisco background has always been how we started the company. And so this story and where we're headed with the Net Academy is just like the next chapter.
Okay, great. So let's get into Net Academy and the involvement. Let's sort of start at the beginning and how your company got involved with Net Academy and how that evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first experience with Net Academy was just a year ago. We had heard about it, and our company has grown organically. As I stated, we pretty much do everything's a job interview until you get hired full time. So a lot of our team works freelance, contract work, and then it turns into enough business that we need that person. So so that's how our story kind of evolves. But with the Net Academy and how we got started there, we were doing the NBA house in Rio for the Olympics of 2016. And Rob Newman, who is with Cisco, placed us with some Net Academy students there locally in Brazil. We were given 3 Netacad students to work alongside us the whole setup and teardown, and it was an amazing experience that exposed me to a whole new world of a workforce and connections that our company hadn't explored before. So we had an amazing student named Yuri Badel, who was incredible bilingual, spoke fluent English. The other 2 girls that we had were amazing as well. Obviously, there was a little bit of a language barrier, but they worked their tails off for us, and they did a great job. But Yuri, we really connected with, and he became just integral to our deployment at the NBA house. So we hosted the NBA house with interactive experiences to show Brazilians and people that were attending the Olympics what the NBA is all about and give them the history, the chronology, and all these different experiences. So we had lines all around us. I think we were voted the #1 hospitality tent or hospitality event at the Olympics, and we had I think 80,000 people come through. I think that's in one of the videos we showed. But anyway, every day it was an experience, and it was all powered with individual networks that we had deployed for Samsung, for the partners, American Airlines, all the different Budweiser. There was tons of people under that same umbrella that we were giving network solutions to. Also, we did and used these Netacad students for Cisco's telepresence. We were connecting students. The students were helping us connect NBA players in the States with Brazilians who were following them, and they basically had this awesome telepresence connection, and just had some amazing interactions. And they would stand in a line and get taken in, and a translator would translate to the NBA star on the other end of the telepresence call. So it was really cool experience, and we do that all day long. And it was just an amazing experience. And that's where the light bulb moment went off for me. Having just been hired, I was like, wait, this Netacad, there's something to this. There's something that we can actually explore, and I see it as a triple win. One, it's a win for Straight Up Technologies. We get to see this amazing talent pool and use them to on a job, and secondarily, they get to be employed and get real world in the field on the job training, right in the trenches with us. And then 3, Cisco gets the glory for connecting the two. So I think it's just an amazing match made in heaven for all 3 parties.
Okay, the light bulb went off, and I think you've explained that it's a win-win-win. And then what?
So the light bulb went off, and then Rob Newman, who is one of our great contacts with strategy and sponsorships at Cisco, I reached out to him and I said, hey Rob, you know how we did the Rio event? Is there some way we can do that on a international and national level at every event that we do? And this is actually February that we started this process. So we haven't been at it very long, and we've already had smashing success. So he said, yeah, let me introduce you to Gina and Melinda that run the program for Cisco. So I called them up, and they said, hey, you've got a unique company. You guys do specialized network deployments. It's kind of cool. It's kind of sexy. Our students and graduates and alumni may think this is a great experience. And she said, let's put together a little bit of a prototype. I said, well, I've got a couple things that I need to do. I said, the light bulb moment really was the Cisco Net Academy is pretty much in every market that we do events and projects. So I was like, if we have enough lead time, we can bake those students into our project, and they can be integral parts of our project on the ground. And then we don't have to fly a bunch of people in. We can use local hires. So she said, what do you have upcoming? I said, well, we have a project in Orlando for ServiceNow that we've been planning for 6 months. And she said, how many Net Academy students do you need? I said, as many as you can get. This project was a massive undertaking for us, to the point that we had 50 or so people on site just for us. And that's typical, almost double what we have. There was a lot of hard lines and labs and workshops, and then room turns where we had to take that network and do something else with it in the same conference. So there was a lot of plotting and planning, and then when we integrated the students in, they got to see it firsthand. They did a lot of the hard work of putting the cables down and connecting to switches, but then we gave them the full cycle and showed them how all those switches and stuff connect back to Cisco's amazing software Prime that kind of tracks what switches are up and where they're deployed. And they got a lot of FaceTime with our CTO, Rainier Nissen, to answer their questions. But they were also super sharp and smart to basically learn by osmosis and kind of shoulder surf, as one of the students said, with our techs and ask questions. Well, why are we doing this? And what does this connect to? And can you show me how to run some programs? And our guys were just amazing. They were asking the right questions, and these guys were so gracious enough to share their knowledge. And so there was a great knowledge swap that I think can only happen on site and in real world environments. And I think this platform set the scenario to be a win.
I love the story. This is so good. And it sounds like it's had a really positive impact on Straight Up Technologies business. Can you talk a little bit more about what that looks like, both in that specific instance and sort of the expectations as brought on more Netacad students?
Yeah, and then I'm also remind me to tell you a little bit about the full-time hires that we've hired from the Net Academy as well in the talent bridge. So it's pretty amazing. So so let me tell you. So basically, this is the prototype, and I'm already rolling into another project with Salesforce Exchange. We have 5 Net Academy students coming to work that event next week. Same formula, basically we write up a description of what the event is and the need. We power that through Cisco. Cisco spreads that to their network of students and alumni in that market, and this happens to be in Vegas. So we've got 5 amazing students, and each time it gets easier once we kind of use the same format with Cisco and then the market that we're going into. So as a business strategy for us, it helps us expand our Rolodex of amazing students and people that will graduate and have careers in this field. And so what we're really looking at is if we're doing things all over the country and internationally, this is a great way to use a local workforce that's already engaged and already wanting to learn this stuff in the field. And so it's added a whole new layer to our business model.
Okay, great. Were you, let me see, articulate this. How closely have you worked with the students themselves?
Oh, I've worked closely the whole, so basically I asked and we get a lot of flexibility to grow and expand our company. So I'm thankful for the opportunity that our bosses, hey, explore that option. Let's see if we strike gold. So I've been an integral, and not to toot my own horn, but I initiated it, I facilitated it, and then I bring it to the project manager on site and say, here's your team. And so the projects that I'm on, and I just happen to be on this Orlando one because our whole team was needed here. I've been involved in every aspect from helping them with their time cards to getting the orientation set up when they got on site. So I was the liaison that brought them from orientation, like on phone calls and things like that, to getting them, integrated into on-site. So it's been from concept to logistics beforehand, to being on-site, to helping manage them while they're here. So it's been a great, incredible experience for me, and it's very rewarding too. That's probably one of the things that I get a high off of. I really get a real jolt of energy from this program and the connection to our company, in that it is changing lives. It is changing the game for us and for the students and for Cisco, because it's these students are getting that education you can't buy in the field, and I just find it to be incredible. And it's just an amazing rush to see this come through. So it's a phenomenal program.
That's great. And so you're definitely the shepherd of these students. Can you talk about some of the skill sets that you're looking for when they come to you, and what do you feel sort of stands out and makes them, it's clear that they've gone through the Netacad program as opposed to an alternative, like a high school or college level program?
Okay, sorry, I had someone interrupt me with the text. Can you repeat that again? I'm so sorry.
Sure. So I'm looking to understand what are the unique skills and qualities that students who have gone through Netacad have that you are looking for as you bring them on, and then as you shepherd them along, what sort of stands out to you as qualities that they have that make it clear that they've gone through the Netacad program as opposed to an alternative?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fertile ground that we both share, all 3 parties share. Obviously, Cisco is an amazing platform and hardware and software that we base our company on. So obviously, these students realize that there is a career that involves Cisco. So I think that's the first bit of commonality that we have, because otherwise we're looking in a field that we don't even know if the people are interested in what the platform that we use. So that connection is already ingrained before we even meet. So our criteria is we're looking for hard workers that are problem solvers, that can get in these specialized environments and see that there is a different world to networking the way we do it. I mean, this deployment that we are doing here is amazing, and it's not something that's permanent. it's a temporary solution, yet it has to act like it's a permanent infrastructure. So, and that architecting that network is something I think the students find fascinating. So we love people that ask questions. We're looking for the people that are hard workers, that want to learn, are not above or below anything. And I believe we've given them the keys to see the full picture. And I think the ones that have really embraced it are those ones that ask questions, that stay late, that, understand the dynamics of somewhat of an internship that can turn into something much greater. And so the students that really thrive are the go-getters, the ones with the energy, the ones that ask the questions, the ones that have the manners to interact with the client, the ones that take direction well and understand that they're a part of a bigger team. So those are the ones that really succeed, and I've seen on site myself.
And can you sort of give us a little bit more background on those who are now full-time employees with Straight Up Technologies? What, if you know any of their background and sort of where they're coming from, and sort of context so that we can understand how they got to where they are now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to look up Tyler's last name, so give me 1 second. I've got two great stories, and for some reason I'm just on site. My mind is a little. I got to remember his last name. Tyler. 1 second. Let's see. Give me. Oh, I got it. All right. So let me give you two stories. So I'll give you. So basically, while we were in the process of doing a prototype campaign to get Net Academy students here in Orlando and in Vegas, I proposed. I said, "Hey, look, we need full-time people too." I said, "I haven't had any luck in LinkedIn. I haven't had any luck in paying to promote, our job posting anywhere." I said, "And I'm not really getting quality candidates." And Cisco's Talent Bridge and Net Academy said, "Wait, we can get these opportunities out to the right people that you're looking for, and we can help vet them, and we can give them a list of questions that'll get you a pipeline of great people to interview and candidates that you can consider." So I said, "I'm all for it." So we had a full-time, well, we are always growing, but we had a full-time position in San Francisco, and it was an immediate need that we had probably late last year, right before the holidays, to where when we got rolling in 2017, it was the first thing up on my project list. And we tried those things, LinkedIn, we tried, sponsored ads, and we've got a lot of just not candidates that seem to be screened or the kind of candidates we were looking for. And we weren't really wanting to go to a headhunter. We've never done that before. And so it wasn't really in our wheelhouse to do so. So when in February, when we're still kind of struggling and trying to find this person and having countless interviews with people that are just not a right fit, I proposed this. And so I sent a job description for our San Francisco full-time junior network engineer. And the response I got was incredible from people that were very qualified. And then I also asked them some leading questions about their experience with Cisco products and Cisco, deployments that they've done. What was the hardest challenge that you've had? How did you deal with a network failure? What did you do here? And so from those answers that they did in their survey, I could tell you who our top 5 candidates were. So a gentleman by the name of Hamdi Musa applied, and we said, let's call him and set up an interview. So we set up an interview based on how they answered the questions, and I think we did 5 or 6 different people. Hamdi was amazing in the way that he answered the questions and his experience. He's got about 2 or 3 years post Netacad experience, so he was just right for a junior engineer position. He wasn't straight out of school, and he wasn't fully mid-level management or senior level engineer or anything like that. So he just had the perfect fit. And as I said before, we were looking for a go-getter, a problem solver, somebody that was hungry to learn and further their certifications with Cisco under our umbrella. And so he just stood head and shoulders above. We did several 2 to 3 interviews, and all of a sudden he was hired. So that was the end of February. He started, I believe, April 1st, and he hit the ground running. And when I say hit the ground running, he told his wife, hey, we've got a couple projects. Okay, first thing I got to do is I got to go install U2's network at one of their concerts that they're about to launch. Then we're going to go to San Antonio, and we're going to do a project for Cisco with the NBA. Then he went to Los Angeles and did an install for Ellen and telepresence there, all within his first week. And he was like, oh, my God, I love this. And he would tell his wife, this job is great. I get to travel. I get to do all the stuff that I learned in school and my experiences in new environments every day. And everybody thinks he's got some magical new job. And he's like, no, I'm serious. It's a real job. It's great. I love it. So he's probably our shining example. And I can see ourselves, using, again, that same model, that same formula to hire more network engineers as our company grows, which it is. And then my second story would be we actually have a student that is not even graduated yet that is working for us part-time, and we hope to bring him in full-time. So I said to our team, if we need somebody in Los Angeles, let's do the same approach and send out a job description to candidates in Los Angeles. And so on top of this, the amazing thing is we've been using WebEx and telepresence calls and Jabber to screen these people. So, I mean, not only are we a Cisco shop, but we're using all of Cisco's tools to help us do our job because we want to do these interviews like you're doing right now with audio and video and see the person's reaction, see their demeanor, see how they conduct themselves, because we're not going to bring you in or fly you in until we actually feel really good about that. So Tyler applied for our part-time engineer, and we didn't even know what we were exactly looking for. We were going to build a job position. I mean, we knew the role, but we didn't know who we were going to find. And so Tyler says, I'm going to be graduating in June, but I can start immediately, and let's see where we go from here. So he started coming to the office in Los Angeles literally a week after, I think around April 1st too. So we had 2 hires from Cisco's Net Academy and the Talent Bridge program in just a matter of weeks.
Man, that's awesome. I can't believe that first story of doing all of those things in 1 week.
Yeah. I mean, and Liv to tell about it and is excited to keep going. So we've had the craziest May of our lives here. Our whole team is spread out all over the country, and without these new hires, we would literally be dead in the water because we need a network engineer on every job, and we've only got so many of them. And if we hadn't had these 2 new hires, we wouldn't be able to do the projects that they're on.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So sort of digging in a little bit deeper with those skill sets, you've described some really nicely, and I'm curious in terms of being prepared for the future. We are all aware that as technology evolves and business evolves alongside of it, that one needs to have the agility and adaptability to be prepared. Do you see that in these Netacad students, that they are able to think ahead and be prepared for what's to come in sort of that unknown space?
Yeah, and I think, as many people that we can expose to our company and how we do business and how we do our deployments will probably enhance them, even if they don't end up in the temporary specialized world that we end up in, because I think that's where the industry is headed. I mean, as we've evolved from, a product integration company to events and specialized deployments, we're seeing less and less hard lines. We're seeing more and more high density Wi-Fi. And so our company is evolving with it. So I think if somebody wants to get along for the ride for that, they're going to experience the latest, greatest. We get the coolest Cisco toys to put into movies and television. And, we're always deploying the latest gear and doing experiential type of experiences that I don't think anybody is really doing. So I feel like you're going to get the best of all the different worlds that you would get in a career with Cisco under our umbrella.
You have a peer who is in a different business, different company, but in a similar position as you, looking to fill some very urgent places on the team with the network engineers, and they were maybe a little bit skeptical about partnering with Netacad or Cisco and bringing on Netacad students. what would you tell that person? What sort of advice would you give in terms of, that relationship with Cisco and then what it's like to bring on those students?
Well, I would tell somebody strongly in a company, whether it's similar to us, like Straight Up Technologies in a specialized environment, or somebody that's just looking to hire in a data center or a permanent IT infrastructure, I would tell them, look, how big is your Rolodex? Mine is only so big, and I'm looking for the best and brightest. And I've got a platform with the Cisco Net Academy that gives me access to the up-and-comers, the kids that are coming out of school, learning this stuff and need the experience. If you're looking for interns, this is an amazing pool of candidates, and you can groom them into something bigger and better for themselves and for your company. And if you're looking for temporary or for permanent hires, my God, I can't speak to how great it is and how much cost savings I mean, if we're going to be 100% clear, is that we don't want to hire a headhunter. Some of these engineers are making, some large salaries, and we don't want to give that to a headhunter. So if we can make the connection to the right candidate that fits our needs, it saves us money, and it puts money in everyone's pockets, including the new hire from the Net Academy or Talent Bridge. So it's a win-win. But I would just tell anybody, hey, no one's Rolodex is too big. No one's budget is big enough to handle the costs of HR that this saves you. You just look like a hero to your employer if you use the Net Academy program, especially the way we have. I mean, I am sitting great because our company is just in awe of the connection and the game-changing aspects that this adds to our company.
And as we look to the future, both for Straight Up Technologies and then sort of the industry at large, well, for one, where do you see Straight Up Technologies going and needing to adapt, as industry adapts? We'll start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been adaptive. We've been around since 2004. So in 13 years, like I said, we've grown, added new revenue streams, and we've got a diverse portfolio of projects that keep coming back to us. And our company is only as good as our last job. If we were here in Orlando and failed at this, that would be a big ding to us. So we're always on top of our game. But the key is that those clients turn us on to other clients, and those requests for proposal and requests for quotes become more and more real. I mean, now that we're doing business with Google and companies like that, they're asking for, pushing the envelope. So I think the industry for us is growing and the need is growing, and I think we kind of fell into it in a great way, in that whenever you go to an environment, whether it's a rock concert, it's a conference, and you as an attendee have a bad experience, it's a networking problem. If you can't get out on your phone to text somebody, to send a picture on social media, to reach somebody, that infrastructure at that facility is not equipped to handle, the bandwidth and the network that is needed to make that an amazing user experience. And so if we built our backbone on that user experience, which we have, there's a lot of places that needs to be stronger. Concerts being one of them, sports arenas, outdoor activities, and conferences that the existing infrastructure just isn't strong enough. And so we come in a lot of times and have an augmented network on top of theirs, as we have here in Orlando. So it's give us a problem, we can work alongside you, we can work above you, we can work below you. Straight Up always finds its way to solve problems.
And as you continue to grow, and presumably it sounds like you're keen to bring on other Netacad graduates, what sort of skills do you expect them to have and how do you see the program evolving really into the future so that it can move alongside with Straight Up Technologies as it evolves?
Yeah, I mean, I think as I see it, I think you can kind of see a pattern happening. Is Tyler is part-time and not graduating until June, so we want him to seek full-time employment with us when he graduates in June. So I can see a place where we're starting them out earlier and getting them groomed as they're getting their education. So what they're learning in their online and their classroom settings and theoretically about, their certifications, they can actually be applying. So maybe we would want a first-year student that we can kind of groom. And I think that's the big thing for us is grooming somebody that understands what we do every day, because it's hard to reshape somebody that's already been, in the workforce for 10 years and tell them how we do it, because they may not be adaptable to that. So the faster we get to these students, the faster we can onboard them. I think we can help them on success, whether it's just short term or long term. So I feel like we can onboard students sooner. I think we can be looking for senior people, that may even have more experience in Hamdi down the road if we need that too. So I feel like whatever, if it's beginning, middle, or further, alumni support, we can probably integrate them into a lot of different scenarios that we see. So I feel like the ones that are go-getters, the ones that are anticipating problems, are the ones that are going to thrive in our environment.
And just sort of, if we zoom back and look at the Netacad program as it evolves for the future and the impact that it's made, specifically, where do you see, what's sort of the big picture impact that you could foresee Net Academy having on not just Straight Up Technologies, but actually the entire industry?
I just think we live in a portable world. I think that if this is the way the industry is going and infrastructure is so replaceable or so temporary, maybe we're setting a new standard for specialized environments are going to be everywhere. Obviously, you have big concerts in the middle of nowhere, and they need that type of network deployment. So I feel like the industry and where technology is changing us, we're riding that wave successfully. And I think, people are going to be nimble. They need to be agile to change and grow. And if you're good with that, whether you're a student or an alumnus, you're going to go far in this industry. And I think even outside of our specialized field, I think that's where the industry is headed.
That's awesome. I think I'll just have one more question, and that would be just if you have any perception of what your colleagues at Straight Up Technologies perceive of Networking Academy, and particularly as you've brought on those students and graduates, sort of what do you think the perception of Net Academy is with them?
The perception has been phenomenal. I think this was a sorely needed source of talent and a pool of people that we hadn't tapped into. Now that we've done so, I don't think anybody in our company can imagine life without it, especially with these 2 new full-time people, and then this successful launch here in Orlando with some amazing stories and things. So I feel like, I'll brag on Hamdi for a second. Just the screening process, the way he answered the questions, the way he showed up on this first week of the job, it's like he was built in a lab for what we needed. And I say that, I couldn't paint a better picture of who I needed, and he showed up. And so that really has resonated with our senior management, and they see the power of the program when it's utilized. And like I said, screening and the person has to step up. So we've got the opportunity. If the right person steps up, it's a home run.
Great. I think we've covered everything that sort of we were digging for, John. Is there anything that you didn't share or any sort of anecdotes that you think would be good for us to know?
Yeah, I think that the students are kind of blown away. I think that they're not used to cool events, and the ones that understand that laying cables and understanding plugging in switches and taping down hard lines for a lab and a workshop plays into a bigger picture. And so the ones that don't mind getting their hands dirty, I think will pay off in the end, because that's how we all learn, is you got to start at the bottom to understand where it leads to. So for them to be on site this week and have had this experience of really the hard part of this is getting those physical switches connected to hard lines, deploying that network, but then seeing the fruits of their labor when they sat down with our CTO and he showed them, hey, look at all the switches you brought online. And now look at all the programs. If we go and plug one of those, we can tell which ones are which because we architected this together. You guys deployed it with us. And this is how it all comes together for a successful event. And I think that there's some satisfaction and some gratification for them to see that whole picture. And it's just been a very rewarding experience. The text, the comments that I've gotten from the students have just been so congratulatory, just thanking us for the opportunity. If there's another opportunity in Orlando or I'll travel. I mean, it's really expanded our world and expanded our Rolodex to where now I know I can really reach out to any community that has a Netacad program and plug them into what we do.
Great. I think this has been awesome, John. Thank you so much. We love these stories, and we feel like we've got some really amazing material to work with. So we genuinely appreciate all that you've shared and how thoughtful you've been in your responses. Absolutely.
And like I said, I've given you a bunch of assets. If there's more things that I can give you, I've got the raw videos, I've got the raw photos, I've got tons more to share with you. So if you need anything to complement this story or complement anything you need for other stories, I'm happy to help. And I'd love to get a copy of this when we're finished. What is our timeline?
We are targeting first week of June to kind of have the video all put together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be in touch when that goes out.